one thing on the 17-game schedule because I haven't mentioned that yet with the NFL. I can't listen to the players now scream and yell, and I know the star doesn't like it because why does Kamara want an extra game, or why does Aaron Rodgers want an extra game, or Russell Wilson? But they had a vote here, and although the vote was very tight, the run-of-the-mill guy, the backup lineman, that's an extra game check with the 18th game. So he is going to sit there. He's going to career is short and everything else. He's going to gobble up that extra game check because he knows that, he's only got 3 or 4 years in the league. And so as a result of that, he wants to get paid as much as he possibly can. So, the problem the NFL has is the big star, in this case, usually runs the sport. But in this particular incident with the whole thing with the 17 games, they had a rank and file vote. And the guy who isn't the big star needs the paycheck. See, Rodgers doesn't need the paycheck. He makes $40 million a year. And nor does Mahomes, nor any of these guys. They don't need that. The lower rung guy does, and that's why the thing was passed. And once you give the NFL owner a little leeway, he's going to grab and run with it. And obviously, the 17-game schedule is here to stay. I know a lot of people don't like it. Do we need another football game? You say that all day, but at the end of the day, you're going to like an extra week of football. Next January, you're going to like an extra week of football. First off, the Super Bowl now goes all the way to the middle of February. So when you get out of the Super Bowl on February 13th, it moves back a week. Once you get out of that Super Bowl, you're going to be basically, you're not too far away from the spring and not too far away from what we're having right now in the NCAA. That's the first thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you like that. Second, nobody complained. Everybody moaned and groaned. Or some people thought, well, maybe too many postseason teams in the NFL with the extra couple clubs. But did anybody complain about the triple headers on Wild Card Weekend? I didn't hear any. Did you hear any complaints? So more football is, unless you're Steve Torrey who's going to sit there an extra week doing Sunday Drive, more football is good. So from that standpoint, as a spectator, I'm okay with it. Now, can the bodies put up with it? Well, I mean, you'll probably have a situation where the teams will be paced a little more efficiently by the coaching staff, where, they'll rest guys in the middle of the year to get them through the 16th, 17th week of the season. And obviously, if a team like the Chiefs is way ahead, or, whoever's got home field wrapped up, that gives them an extra couple weeks of nothing football before you play a playoff game. So if you're the Chiefs and you've clinched after week 14 or 15, then you got not just 1 week to kill before you get to a postseason scenario. You got 2 weeks of regular season football to kill before you get the postseason scenario. So if you're Kansas City, and let's say that you've clinched the AFC West on December 26th, which is when the week 15 would be, and then you clinch then, you don't play another meaningful game. If you do the math, let's say you clinch then. Week 16 is January 2nd, and week 17 is January 9th, and you then have a bye week. You would not play again into January 23rd. So a meaningful game. So if you're, say the Chiefs, and you clinch the division, and you do it the day after Christmas and clinch home field, which is certainly possible, that means after 15 weeks, that means if you sat there and not played, you would not play another game of note for a month, January 23rd. So that is a negative. You have a bigger chance for, inactivity and lethargy for some of your better players if they are so good through Christmas and then they can't do anything for a month. Because January 23rd is a long way before you play your first playoff game. I mean, when you get right down to it, if you win a division, if you're the 1 seed next couple years, in the NFC, the AFC, and you clinch early, you are not playing your first playoff game until late January. That's interesting. You play the wild card weekend you play the divisional weekend on the 23rd. You'll play the championship Sunday will be on January 30th, and then you won't play the Super Bowl until February 13th. That is, think about that. You only have 3 games left in your season after Christmas, if in fact you got the best record. So you wait 6 weeks to play 3 games. You can make an argument that that's a little bit of a negative from that standpoint. But as far as football is concerned, who's going to argue with more regular season football? Part of me loves it because that gets you a little bit more through the winter because it's middle of January here. Who doesn't like that? Did the owners capitalize? Sure. Did the owners go out there and make a TV deal, make more money? Sure. But the players get that money too. I think their salary cap share moves up to 48.8% now with the extra game to sell, where money, goes to them. 48. I think it went from like 48.3% to 48.8%. I might be off, but about a half a percentage point. And when you're talking billions, that's a lot of money that is spread around salary cap stuff and everything else. As far as the schedule goes, and they did the fairest thing. One will play one. They go by from the 2 years previously, and 1 year the AFC will host, and the next year the NFC will. So Washington will be at Buffalo. They go by order of finish. Green Bay will be at Kansas City. The Saints will be at Tennessee. Tampa will be in Indianapolis. That's how they do it. 2 will play 2 in the respective conference. 3 will play 3. 4 will play 4. That seems fair. NFL does a good job at that from a fairness standpoint. I was actually a little surprised that they only eliminated 1 preseason game. I was a little surprised by that. I thought the extra week they might eliminate 2 preseason games, but they only did 1. And the collective bargaining agreement says that, you can play as many as 20 games. Now, I don't like the NFL's explanation when they brought up the injuries. Our data indicates that more people get hurt in preseason than they do in the NFL. Oh, hold on now. Nobody plays in the preseason, Roger. I mean, geez. Half the people who play in the preseason get cut. So he brought up the data from preseason injuries instead of the regular season injuries, trying to sell it to people. But that spin didn't work with me. Bottom line is, though, overall, play more. What the hell? 20 in front of the hour, we continue. We're Mad Dog Unleashed.